Hi, welcome everyone, Richard here, welcome back to the video. A little while ago I did a short video on how to get your Lightroom images straight into Adobe Portfolio using collections. I did say in that video, if anyone wanted to see the full process of how you set up a portfolio website, let me know. A few people have. So here it is. This is a quick video. I think it's going to be 20 or 30 minutes, but it is setting up a whole website, so bear that in mind. If you want to jump to a particular section, I've tried to put chapters in the important bits or the salient points that you might find useful if you want to go straight to those areas. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the computer, get signed in, and I'll show you quickly how to set up a portfolio website with Adobe. So first thing you need to do, head over to portfolio.adobe.com and you'll have a screen similar to this. Once you have got there, you just need to sign in. I'm going to do that really quickly now. Once you've signed in, you may have a screen similar to this, or you may have a screen that shows you all of the different themes you can choose. So you'll either have this screen, which I have because I already have a website, and I'm going to click on New Site, or you may be presented with this screen if it is your first website you're setting up. You can do a full portfolio or just a welcome page. We are looking at the full portfolio today. These are all different themes you can have. Have a little browse, see which one takes your fancy. I'm going to go with Sawdust because it's a bit different to my main theme that I use on my main portfolio website. A few things to look at here real quick before we choose the theme we want. You can have a little click around it to see if it's the sort of thing that you'd like to have your website looking like. Top left hand corner you can see that we are in desktop mode. You can also click on tablet and it will show you what that looks like in tablet mode, and you can do the same with phone and see what it looks like in phone mode. If you're not happy with the theme, you can change it. I'm quite happy with this one, so I'm going to click up here on use this theme, and what that will do is that will take us into the website builder relatively quickly. Okay, so this is the website itself. It looks a bit, or the portfolio itself, it looks a bit bland at the moment, obviously, because there's no titles, there's no images, there's no logos in there. So the first thing we're going to do here is just have a little quick look around the dashboard. Most of the menus are down the left hand side here, and you can see that there is Essentials, Site-Wide, this collection and all collections. I'm going to go through these real quickly because we will look at some of the areas here in a bit more detail as we progress through the video and build the website. On the Essentials section we have pages, and this is where you can see the structure of your website, whether it be a page indicated by the page icon here, or whether it be a collection indicated by these 9 square dots, and I'll talk a little bit more about collections in a second. Integrations, if you want to link it with Behance, or you've added any Lightroom albums already, you'll see those there, and if you have any assets from your Adobe stock that you might subscribe to. Themes, if you're not happy with the theme, you can come into here and change it for another one, just by clicking use this theme, and it will update your website to the current theme. And finally, settings. Not going to change anything in here at the moment because it's all quite behind the scenes, search optimization, analytics, cookies, things like that, which is not really what this video is about. You can go through that and set it up as you see fit. The next one is site-wide. So now this is what the look and the feel of your website is in terms of fonts, colors, logos, things like that. You can add logos here if you want to. You can change it to dark and light. You can upload background images. If you want to add a logo, you can do it here. You can add your logo there, and you know, just all sorts of things that sort of associate it with your brand. Again, we're going to change a few things in here, but you can fiddle around with that as and when you want to change logos and things like that. It's really simple to do. As I said, you just click on an image there and upload an image and it will appear there. So quite straightforward, but we're going to come back to some sections in here shortly. Now, a quick thing about collections. There are two different styles in Portfolio. There are pages and there are collections. Collections is where you can have a collection of pages or a collection of Lightroom albums and pages, or you have pages where you can add text, links, images, but you can't add Lightroom albums into a page. This again will all become clear as we move along. Any changes that you make in this collection section will change only the collection that you are showing on your screen at that time. If you go down to all collections, it will be a global setting. So if you change something in here, that will change it over all of the collections apart from the ones that have changes in this collection. If you want to revert your individual collections that you've amended in this collection section, you can just go back to global page styles, which will reset it to your website defaults if you like. That was a quick summary of what that side of that screen means in explaining collections and explaining the area of the sort of navigation and the settings menus there. What we're going to do now is, which I think is really important, is just have a little think about the structure of your website. What do you want to present to your friends, family, clients, things like that? How do you want to show off your portfolio? I'm going to do something really simple. I'm going to have a home page, and then I'm going to have 2 links, one going through to personal stuff, one going through to professional stuff. It's just to keep it very simple for this quick video. So what we're going to do now is just set up that structure starting with the home page. So we're going to click on pages at the top here, and we can see our current structure where we have a work collection, which is the home page, and a contact page. I'm going to add a page. I'm not going to add, I don't want it to be a welcome page. I want to add a page that I can add elements to. It's not going to be an album or a collection or just a link. It's going to be a page, and I'm going to call this page home. I do not want it in a collection. I want it to be just a navigational page on its own, but I also want to make it my home page. And if we go back into pages here, we can now see that we have a home page and a work collection. And we're not going to do anything with the home page just yet until we've put a bit more content into the website. But what I am going to do is, I don't like the term work. I'm going to change this collection title to professional, but I'm going to copy the word professional and press enter, because I also want to change the collection URL to match professional. Press enter. So we now have a home page and a professional collection. So the one thing you do need to make sure is that your logo is linked to your home page. Mine is. If it isn't, just click down here and you can change it to the right page, but I'm happy that that is linking to my home page now, so we're all good to go there. So I've got my professional collection. I'm now going to come back into our structure here, and I'm now going to add another collection, which is going to be called personal, create collection, and I'm just going to drag home to the top. Okay, so we've moved that up there. We can see that I've made a spelling mistake here, so I'm just going to edit that, and I'm going to make that personal. I'm going to copy it, press enter, changes saved, and I'm just going to check the URL. Right, the next thing I want to do is, before we start adding any images, I just want to tidy up this menu here, because they're different font styles and it doesn't actually tell you when you click on one. It's not obvious what you're on because it's not a different color. I wouldn't mind this being a different color, just so that I can see what page I'm on, or so that your clients and your people viewing your website can see what they're on. So we're going to go to navigation, and I'm going to click on page titles, and I'm just going to change a few things here. I'm going to make it 18. I'm going to make the color black, and we're going to make it bold, and this is for page titles. And when it's active, I want to make it 18 and bold, but I want the color to be blue. So that is for page titles. I now want to do the same for collection titles. 18, make sure that it is black. When it's active, make sure that it is blue. And that will do for now, I think. So we can now see, if I'm on home, we can see that home is blue. So that's the one I'm on. If I click on personal, we can see that personal is blue. So it just means it is a bit more clearer for customers or for people viewing your website. So let's start adding some images now. This is when it gets really, then it starts making it look like a proper website. So under the personal tab, we are going to click here, add page, but the page, it's not actually a page, it's going to be a Lightroom album. And these are collections that I've already synced to the cloud, so they're easy to find in whatever structure you have in the cloud. I've got 4 tutorials, and I'm going to add just 3 days from our USA 2024 road trip. We'll see the first one appear. We're going to go back to personal. We're going to add day 2, add Lightroom album, 4 tutorials, day 2, add. Back to personal, add Lightroom album. Obviously normally you'd only be doing one of these at a time, but it's just because I'm sort of adding a few to show what's going on. Right, so we have 3 here now. Okay, so a couple of things that I don't like. I don't like the fact that it's 4 columns wide. I want it to be 3 columns wide. So in site wide, under media content styles, where it says photo grid, we're going to tick this box here, limit images per row to 3. And I prefer the look of that because the images are just a little bit bigger in terms of thumbnails. However, if you want, for some reason, one of them, let's say day 2, you want to make sure that's 2 columns wide, you can do just that one page, just that one collection, rather than the global settings on the whole site. So you can click on photo grid, edit grid style, take it down to 2, just turn it off and on again, and you can see now that they are 2 columns wide. But that will only affect the one that you've adjusted manually. If we go back to day 1, you will see that we'll still have 3 columns. A couple of little tweaks that I want to make here. I don't like the fact that there is all of these albums in the navigation. If you have 20 different albums throughout the year, or in your personal stuff, or however you decide to structure your website, you don't want to have a massive navigation of 20 different galleries. So all I do is site-wide navigation. I'm going to turn off sub-page titles because they are a sub-page of my collection. I want page titles to stay there, and I want collection titles to stay there, but I do not want sub-page titles, so I've turned that off. So to find all of my personal stuff now, you go to the personal page and you can see them all there. Final thing, or 2 other things I need to do just to tidy this up, is to rearrange these so that they're in a logical order for me. I'd rather it go one ascending, not descending. And finally, in page covers here, and in, where will it be? And again, it's in layout. I just want to bring the images down, or the galleries down a little bit. I don't want them so close to the top of the screen, so I'm just going to change the top margin to 100, and I think that just looks a little bit neater. Finally, if you want to change the cover image for each individual gallery, you can click on where it says page, edit cover image, pick a new one, do the same to this one if you want to, because I don't like that it's just a hotel. Let's make that something a bit more inspirational, like a nice road trip. And if you wanted to add a rollover image, you can do that too, just by clicking on rollover up here, pick an image, and then when you roll over that thumbnail, it will just give you the second image. Okay, so that's nice and straightforward. So we've now got a personal gallery with 3 of our USA 2024 road trip photos. I'm going to do the same now to professional. I've got a couple of galleries that I've just thrown together. So click on the add page, click on Lightroom album, exactly the same as before. 4 tutorials, product, other. These are just ones I've been messing around in the office. Back to professional, add page, Lightroom album, 4 tutorials, product, whiskey. It's basically one product gallery that I've just split into whiskey and non-whiskey photos. And under professional, we now have both those galleries. Right, so we've set up some collections. We now have your personal collection and your private and your professional collection. But if we go to the home page, we're going to see in a second that there's nothing on there. There's the navigation, but there's no real content to encourage people to click through to any of your galleries. So we're going to change that now. So if we click on the home page, we can see here that, and if we preview it, it looks pretty bland. It's just got the navigation, but there's no content on the page at all. So we're going to click down here on back to edit. We have some options that we can add. We could just add text, or we could just add a button or a link or something. We could upload an image, but that will probably take up cloud storage. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get something from Lightroom. So we're going to click on Lightroom. We're going to find a photo that you think is suitable for your to demonstrate your professional portfolio. Let's pick this one. And that will give us one image on the page. And then we are going to do the same for the personal. So if we click over here where the little plus sign is there and pick Lightroom again, we're going to find a nice image from that you want to depict what your personal photography might be like. So we're just going to pick a nice landscape photo. So we now have two images, so we're getting there. We've got a bit of content now, but there's still no way of linking this to your images in your collection. So hover over one of the, don't click, just hover over one of the images for professional, click image, and then add link. Up here where it says link to, where it says external URL, we want to come down to collections, and you want to link that to your professional collection. I'm going to untick this link in new tab because that will end up people having hundreds of browsers open if they're navigating around everywhere. Same again, hover over the personal one, image, add link, personal collection, untick that box. So we've now got links from our home gallery to our two collections or from our home page to our two collections, but you still can't tell what they're for. So all we need to do now is quickly add a caption. This is going to say professional. Over here, hover, add caption. This is going to say personal. But it doesn't look that obvious, so we're going to make this a bit more prominent. The captions we're going to make a bit more prominent. So under site-wide, under media content styles, and under captions, let's make this 18, make it a bit bigger. Let's make it 22. Let's make it black again so it stands out. And if you wanted to, you could make it bold as well. Now let's preview. So there we go. So we've now got, it's a bit bolder, so it's obvious what we're clicking on. So when you click on there, you go through to your professional gallery, and when you click on personal, we go through to our personal gallery. Down the bottom here, back to edit, because there's a couple of things, just little personal tweaks that I'm going to do that I'm going to show you how to do in case you're interested in doing that as well. You can see under each collection here, under each gallery, Lightroom gallery, there is the title and the date, which is fine. I want the title. I don't really want the date. The date on this is the name of the date that you uploaded or added that gallery to your portfolio, which may have nothing to do with the date that the photos were taken. So I just turn that off on the global settings, or I am on this one. Sometimes I add them on my own. It depends on what I'm doing. But for this, I'm going to show you real quickly how to turn them off. So under all collections, under page covers, we're going to turn off page dates. And page titles, we are going to click on there and we are going to center it, and I'm just going to make it a tiny bit bigger and maybe bold it as well. Do we like the bold? Semi-bold. There. So that's now a bit more prominent, and you can just see that it's USA Day 1, USA Day 2. So let's go back to home. Professional, personal, click on personal, and we have our personal gallery. Back to home, click on professional, we have our professional gallery, or you can navigate it from the menus down the left hand side as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a page description. So if you wanted to add a description to your Lightroom gallery, you can. So if we click on product whiskey here, we have our whiskey product photos. What I want to do is I just want to put something at the top that just says, it could be anything like, if you're doing it for holiday, here's our photos from our trip to Scotland or something. So edit page info, up here I'm going to type some favourite shots of my favourite drink. Hope you like the photos. I don't know. But it's all on one line, which I don't like. I'd rather hope you like the photos be below, just to give it a bit more depth there. So if you come up here and click on hope, or before hope, and press enter, nothing happens. So the only way that I've found that you can get a page break in here is to copy all of this, take it into Word, format it in Word, copy all of that, go back to Portfolio and paste it in, and you now have your 2 lines. You may not want to do that. That's just the way I prefer it. If you don't, you don't. But if you do, that's how you do it. Now, the final thing, I believe, or the penultimate thing perhaps that I want to show you is, and I'm going to use my own portfolio for this just to explain something. So I have here my personal photography, and I do it by year. Okay, so this is a link. This is a page with images in, a bit like the home page that we've just set up. This is a page with images in. I click on 2024 and I have my photos from Bude. Let's go back. I have my photos that I took of Max in the forest. Let's go back, and I have my photos from when we took a camping trip down to Dorset. Let's go back. I also have this USA 2024. You can see I have got the dates because it is relevant, because these are 2024 galleries. I have USA 2024 images here. Now, in that gallery, there's 600 images. Nobody wants to click on there and be presented with 600 images. So I wanted to break that down by day. So we're essentially doing a gallery in a gallery, or a Lightroom album in a collection behind the scene. You know, I want to have 2 stages. I don't just want to go straight into the Lightroom gallery. So to do that, you have to add a page. So while this is a link directly to a Lightroom gallery, this is a link to a single page. Now the single page has 1 image on it, and I've linked that image through to the Lightroom collection of all the days. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to do that. It's very similar to how we did the home page in terms of setting up single photos and then adding a link, but this is a way where you can get lots of Lightroom collections behind other Lightroom collections, if that makes sense. So first of all, let's go back to the website we're building, and you have to sort of do it in reverse order. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come through to here. We're going to click on the, or I'm going to click on the blue plus, and I'm going to add a collection, and this collection is going to be called USA 2024 Road Trip. Create collection. And I'm going to bring this, just for my own organisational purposes, down to below personal, but I don't want it separately in the navigation. So again, drop down box, hide in navigation. No pages in this collection just yet, but we are going to add. You remember before I've added days 1, 2 and 3. I'm now going to add days 4, 5 and 6. So there's day 4 and back, and day 5 is going to be added. And we're going to add day 6. Okay, so I've now got my USA road trip collection that I now need to add from my personal page. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to add a page. And this page is going to be called USA 2024. And it's going to be in my personal photos. As I've said, you cannot add a Lightroom album from a page, so we have to add an image. So Lightroom, I'm going to pick another image that I like the look of. Let's pick the buffalo. And I'm going to link this to my USA 2024 road trip collection. And I'm also going to add a caption that's going to say, click here to see photos from our amazing road trip. Okay. So back to the personal page, you can see now that I have days 1, 2 and 3, which I had already, but I also have this one link to a page for USA 2024. If we come over to our website structure, what I want to do is I need to get these 3 days into with these. Let's just rearrange these actually. So we're going to bring in day 1, day 2 and day 3. So what we've got here is we have a personal collection which you click on by clicking USA 2024. This then has a link. So this is a page, not a collection, so you can't add Lightroom albums to the collection, but you have a photo which links to a collection. So under personal, you can have lots of different personal events, but let me show you on here. So this is my 2024 gallery. If I click on our trip to Bude, it will go straight through to my Lightroom album, okay, of Bude. If I click on Max portrait shoot, it goes straight through to the pictures of Max in the forest. What I didn't want to do, like I said, is click on USA 2024 and go through to 600 photos. I wanted to break those down into albums. So this is not a link. This here is not a link to a Lightroom album. It's a link to a page with a photo on it. This photo is a link to another collection. It's not ideal. So you have a collection. In the collection, you have lots of different Lightroom albums. On this occasion, we have a collection with lots of different Lightroom albums, but in there is one page which links through to another collection with lots of Lightroom albums in. It won't happen that often. It's very unlikely. Only on major trips like this am I going to have hundreds of photos that I want to share with family and friends anywhere I am. So, but once you've done that, you have got each day highlighted, and you can click on each gallery to see the photos from that day, or you can just come back to the start and click on, or let's go back to here. So what you could have in here is USA 2024 plus lots of different albums from your year, like I've just shown you. I'm waffling. Right, final thing, final thing, I promise. Under settings, site subdomain, you can tailor this to your name. Now, if you've got a name like me, Richard Chubb's quite unusual. No one else has had that name, so I've been lucky enough to get richardchubb.myportfolio. If your name's John Smith, you're not going to get it. So you just have to be a bit creative. Let's say RCP, so RCP photography, apply. Your subdomain was successfully set. Once you're happy with it, you could preview. Go to your home page by clicking on your logo or the home page. Both should take you to your home page, and you just have a browse. Professional, whiskey products, that's all good. Back to professional, product other, that's all good too. When you're happy, publish site. That's all published. You can view your site from here, and there you go. You have done your portfolio linked directly from Lightroom Classic with photos linked through to the cloud. When I put that together, it seemed quite obvious. I hope it came across that way in the video. If it doesn't, ask me a question down below. I've explored this quite a lot, so I know quite a bit about it now. There are certain things that are a bit quirky. It's a free website builder, don't forget. But if it's a way of sharing your photos with friends, family, clients, potential clients, or just having your own little space on the web, it's links to Lightroom. There's no exporting images, there's no importing images. It just comes all out of Smart Preview. You're not using any space in the cloud at all. I think it's a really good solution to have just a simple website showing off images. Let me know down below if you've got any questions. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Sorry this has gone on a bit longer than I was hoping for, but hopefully you found some value in it. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.